Yeah. About to get ready to embark on another beautiful demonstration. Peace, love, and light to the family. Peace, love, and light to the family. Yeah. You all roll. You already know it's the Galactic One, Eleanor L. We back cracking spells. Shout out to all the Galactic Guardians, 720 degrees. Shout out to the whole URO, everybody living in universal right order. Shout out to the House of Consciousness, Connecticut chapter. Message being brought to you by K.O.R TV, Kingdom of Righteousness TV. The show is called Wake Up Sheeple. Get ready to jump into the demonstration. I share to all the great prophets, ancestors, aiders, messiahs, messages who came before, making the platform available so we can be here today, giving you the message. Peace, love, and light to the family. Y'all get down there to 720, 1741 East Main Street. Get your holistic healing. You know, get your spiritual upliftment. Things you need to aid you on your spiritual journey. 720. Get down there. 1741 East Main Street. Shout out to Heru Uncle L. Shout out to the brother Poe the Dawn on this galactic glorious day. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on my mind right now. You know, my man, brother of mine, and another brother of mine. You know, it's a situation where, you know, one dude dies, one dude goes to jail, and we all know, you know what I'm saying, we all is one family, really. So it's crazy right now, you know, it's the sound of that, you know, to know that your man killed your man, you know, your brother killed your brother, like type shit. You know, that sounds crazy, but today we're going to deal with sound. We're going to deal with language. We're going to deal with frequency and vibration. Sounds, tones, frequencies, and vibrations. This is another edition of Words Carry Spirits. So we're going to talk about the language and how important language is to our people, right? If you notice, the black people in America is the only people who don't have their own tongue. What they call it a native tongue or an indigenous tongue. Right now we speak in English. We speak in English. You know, and the majority of us are not from England. So somewhere down the line, we adopted somebody else's culture because you can't have a culture without a language. Say that again, you can't have a culture without a language. Why you think hip hop got a whole slang type of language? You know what I'm saying? Words don't mean what they mean. You know what I'm saying? Or academically, when a hip hop nigga say, shorty got an onion. You know what I'm saying? When a hip hop nigga say, you know what I'm saying? Any slang word that we use, you know what I'm saying? Get to the bag and shit like that, you heard? A lot of it is in the blood and we don't know why we saying these things today. You know what I'm saying? But we was already saying these terms. A lot of time we use them and flip them and bounce them. But language is vital. So we like the people in the Tower of Babel. You know, when God had to come down and Lil, Sky Daddy, him and his children had to come down and see what the beings were doing. You know what I'm saying? Part of self. And see what these beings were doing. Yeah, the Sky Daddy had to come down, you know what I'm saying? To check out what these beings were doing because they was on a different frequency. You know, when it comes to language and all of that, right? So Nimrod, I don't know if y'all familiar with Nimrod, but Nimrod was creating this tower to the skies and Lil's the Sky Daddy. He wasn't having that, so you know they had to go down and confound the tongues, make these people dumbfounded to their language, right? And so we kind of, in a sense, right now today are living like in a modern day Babylon type shit, because we the ones that's babbling a language that we really don't have an over, inner, and outer standing of. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's important because I hear a lot of people talking about tones, frequencies, vibration. You got to get on a certain and resonate like this and all of that. And all that's good. But as long as we talk in English language, you can't really connect with your ancestors like that because your ancestors never said the word God. You hear me? So how could you be calling or dialing out to your creator and he don't know what the fuck God mean? He ain't never even heard of that. You understand what I'm saying? So are you really connecting, or is it just your galactic heart consciousness through your intent making these things transpire to become real in your imagination? So at the beginning and the end of the day, language is important. You know, we said things like Natharu, Netcher, Netter. You know, that's more watered down, Netter and Netcher. Natharu is the proper pronunciation. You know what I'm saying? As close as we gonna get to it in this day and age. But language is a vital key, right? Like I said, not only for the fact that it helps breed your culture and all of that, but Now we're speaking a language that nobody really knows unless they're part of our culture. You feel what I'm saying? That's why it's important to have your own language. You know what I'm saying? Same way we feel when we go inside of stores and the Chinese man is saying something we don't know what the fuck he's saying. That's his culture. We should have. But the thing about them are, we can learn their language. We can Google translate the Chinese language. You can Google translate Spanish, Russian, all this other shit. What I got, you can't Google translate. You know what I'm saying? This is a sacred, ancient language we talking about, where these people spoke in tones more or less, and not just a language. How we break down, we got to understand English language is an amalgamation, a mixed up language of a bunch of different other languages. So you got, Phoenician, where your definitions come from, definitions from the Phoenicians. You got the Greek smashed up in there. You got Latin Roman smashed up in there. You got English, Old English, right? Smashed up in there. So you got a whole bunch of shit mixed up together, and those languages were grafted from other languages. So you got a whole bunch of shit mixed up, and you saying shit, and it's coming, the frequency's crazy. So when you try to explain things to people on a spiritual level to uplift their spirituality or to tap into their ancestors and shit like that, but we talking this English language, it might not be so effective, you know what I'm saying? But if we all had an understanding and knew our languages, maybe it'd be more eloquent and more in harmonization when you try to build with somebody, right? Because sound got a lot to do with harmony. You know what I'm saying? And we don't really understand sound. You don't know that you sound. Remember I told you, you are radio. Every day of your life you get up. If you're feeling good, then good music is playing from your body. If you're feeling bad or upset, then upset and bad music is playing from your body. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the vibe you giving off, that's what's playing. You know what I'm saying? So you're your own radio station, but you could tune into other frequencies. You know what I'm saying? You could change your dial. Everybody's dialed into the sun, because the sun generates sound. I hope you know that. You know what I'm saying? The sun generates its own sound because it's a big ass radio that everybody's dialed in to the sun's dial. Why you think? There's no coincidence that most of these radio stations call themselves Hot 90 this and Hot 90 that, right? Hot 101 and all this hot shit, right? Understand the sun is a radio. They know this information. You know what I'm saying? That's why they slipped the term in there like that, and use the analogy as a radio, and it's hot music coming from the radio. You feel what I'm saying? Like, all this is because the sun is emitting sounds, right? Basically. And 9 being the highest number, that's why they use these 97s and hot 90 this and hot 9 is the highest number, really. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's dialed into the sun, really. You know what I'm saying? The frequency of the sun. And the gases from the sun, with it, we breathe those gases in. As we breathe those gases in, depending on your genetic makeup, you may breathe in more nitrogen than another genetic makeup. Meaning if you're black, you may breathe in more oxygen or nitrogen than a white person. Different beings' genetic makeup breathe in different elements differently. These gases go to the brain. 9 ether gases go to your brain. Right? And so, sound energy alone is connected with human consciousness. Sound energy alone is connected to human consciousness. Sound is actually heard through every cell in your body. Not just your ear and it go to your brain and compute like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not just how sound works. You know what I'm saying? Sound waves enter through the eardrum, travel through a canal, right? Which then hits the eardrum. The eardrum vibrates. You feel me? Once the vibration from the eardrum happens, those tiny 3 bones in the middle of your ear called the malleus, incus, and stapes, those things vibrate, and the cochlear liquid containing small hair cells basically convert into signals. So the liquid that dropped, the sound that you just heard, liquid drops, boom, get on the hair cell, that shit turn into signals, and them signals go to your brain. And that's how you pick up on what you're hearing. You know what I'm saying? So when we think about sound, we don't even know that a well damn near makes the loudest sound out of entities or things in creation, basically. A well is louder than a goddamn rocket launch. When they let the NASA space shuttle blast off and all that, a well, something natural, something in nature, is louder than a rocket launch. It blew me away too. You know, the sound that a well makes. So the importance of sound is vital because it engages audiences. I wouldn't be able to build with you if it wasn't no sound. If it wasn't no sound, I wouldn't be able to build with you. So understand, sound helps engage audience, it helps deliver the information, and it increases the product value. You know what I'm saying? It also deals with invoking things, right? Emotional responses. Emphasize shit through sound. It indicates certain people moods by how they talking. You could hear it in the pitch, you know what I'm saying, what mood they in. So it indicates moods, language, sound effects, music, and even silence. Even when we think we're in a state of silence, there's sound. Even when think you in a state of pure silence, because there's no such thing as pure silence on this side of the realm. I just told you the sun is making noise. Loud as fuck. So when you go outside, you think you're hearing a humming and a buzzing, and the earth is fucking buzzing and vibrating. Call it K.O.R. Right? So there's, on this side, pure silence is non-existence. You're not going to get silence. They do have a room in Minnesota, though. A sound room. I think it's in, where the fuck is that place at in Minnesota? Orfield, Minnesota. And they created these rooms, right? They call it like the Anti-Chowak chambers or some shit, the Anti-Chowak chambers. But these chambers that they made, basically a person can only sit in there for 45 minutes, the longest a person ever sat inside this silent room that they got in Minnesota. It's the quietest place on earth, basically. It's right here in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? And so, a person could only last 45 minutes. Too much silence makes people start to hallucinate. People start going crazy in the goddamn room because, you know what I'm saying, it ain't no noise. That's how quiet it is. They said the decibel was damn near soundless, like you almost dead. Like dead type. It's on the dead frequency. Like 9 point something negative backwards on the decibel background noise. You know what I'm saying? So without sound, basically there are no pressure waves traveling through the air. Sound moves through airwaves. So shout out to Shoot, the god Shoot. If it wasn't for Shoot, we wouldn't be able to hear this shit. Because the sound is moving through airwaves. You know what I'm saying? Pressure waves. You know what I'm saying? And so, understand, you are sound. And it's what you do with your sound that can heal you. Because the ancient Cometians, they had shit like sound healing. They healed their own bodies through their mouth. You feel me? Making a certain goddamn tone. It's called toning. That's what they were doing. They were toning. Remember I said, you know, you can't hear nothing unless without traveling through your whole body. So when they made these certain ra, ba, sa, whatever the fuck they were saying, right? That shit was resonating through their whole goddamn body, every cell in their body. Because what happens is you're restoring your body back to your harmonic pattern. Cells become out of place, disrupted, blah, blah, blah. When you start chanting and doing all that through sound healing, even playing music, they got musical therapy right now for special need kids and for older people. You know what I'm saying? That they actually play on them to help them heal. You feel what I'm saying? So even the ancient Tibetans, they move things, objects, rocks, big ass stones right now. This ain't no ancient shit. This is like our time. You feel me? The ancient Tibetans, look them up. They're moving things with sound. You know what I'm saying? So sound definitely is a vital and important part to your life. You know what I'm saying? And so, remember, sound energy is connected to your consciousness, man. We want to deal with sound right reasoning. You know what I'm saying? Sound right reasoning. The shit don't sound right is definitely wrong. You heard? And so, with that being said, understand you are sound. You want to be able to play good sounds and receive good sounds. You know what I'm saying? As well as be able to deal with the negative sounds that you're hearing as well, too. You know what I'm saying? But it's important that we get a better understanding of the perception of the reality. And the perception of the reality we exist in is dealing with sounds, tones, frequencies, vibrations, lights, colors, shapes, rhythmic patterns, supreme extreme mathematics, and your galactic heart consciousness. These things are vital to you. You feel what I'm saying? But sound, you got to start with sound. Sound sparked the light. Sound started the motion that sparked the light. Through sound came vibration and light. So we talk about a big bang, boom, the sun blowing up, boom, big bang, radio playing, frequency, all of that's important. And for us to get on a certain frequency as far as melanin dominant people or people that come from a certain tribe or certain indigenous people, you know, we got to get back on a certain sound when it comes to speaking, communicating. And I got that for you, you know what I'm saying? I got that for you. So if you want to get more in tune, hit me up, inbox, whatever y'all know how to get at me, the galactic one. And we can build, you know. We can build, and I can give you this sacred knowledge, but I can only give it to people who's worthy of it. You know what I mean? We're definitely going to screen you and make sure that, you know, you're going to do the right things with it because it's sacred. You know what I'm saying? This is holy breath. You feel me? So we ain't gonna waste this shit and just be giving it out to anybody. It's for you to get it so you can pass it on to your kid so that we can keep our frequency out here. You heard? You know what I'm saying? Then it makes it good because everybody don't know what the fuck we talking about now. You know what I'm saying? We can have a regular conversation out in the public and all that, and nobody know what the fuck we talking about. Don't you want to feel good? Don't you want to have something to call your own, finally? Don't you want to have something to call your own? Because you don't own none of this shit. None of this shit. Even you buy a house, that shit ain't yours. You know what I'm saying? But don't you want to have something to call your own? So let's start with language, baby. You heard? Y'all get at me. It's been another galactic glorious day, traveling in harmony. Peace.